Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Mass Effect. In the last episode, we were going around the Armstrong Nebula, taking out the various Geth outposts that have been set up around the place, and this episode we'll be doing exactly the same thing. So we're going to start off in this system down here, Gagarin. I haven't pointed this out, but I'm fairly sure all the systems in the Armstrong Nebula are named after famous astronauts of some sort. This one was Yuri Gagarin, who was a Russian cosmonaut and the first man in space, famously. Anyway, there's this planet here, Junthor, which has got a very long description. But yes, if we scan it, the scans revealed a wrecked freighter orbiting one of Junthor's smaller moons. Her recon team found no signs of life, but they did recover one of Matriarch Dilinaga's writings. Yeah, a lot of the planets have quite long descriptions like this. Generally, that's only ones you can actually land on, but I'm only going to be reading out the ones for ones you can land on. The other ones, it just takes too long to read them all out. Some of them are interesting, though. Anyway, there's this planet up here as well, anti-rum gone. Why is the rum always gone? If you scan it, then you get a deposit of cobalt. Nice and straightforward. And the planet of interest is not that one, this one here, Rhyengri. And this is, of course, looks seriously cool. But yes, this is where the third Geth outpost is located, so let's land on here. Rhyengri is a small, barren terrestrial world. While it possesses a reasonably temperate climate and a number of useful resources, no mining corporation is willing to risk investment. A rogue planetoid, dubbed Vazd by the initial Solarian surveyor team, entered the system approximately 10,000 years ago, and was trapped in a decaying orbit around Rhyengri. It is nearing the end of its slow spiral inwards. Earthquakes and cyclonic windstorms are increasingly common on Rhyengri. Within a few hundred years, the planets will rip each other apart. Some Asari travel consortiums have already announced the sponsorship of cruisers to observe the spectacle. This is another planet that I really just love, because you can just see how that planetoid that it was talking about, Vas, completely, dominates the entire skyline in a certain place, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to start by heading over to the east, where there is a mineral deposit waiting for us. And coming down here, we will find a deposit of titanium, which I believe we have, but only one of. I'm not entirely sure, as I say. I'm not great in my head at keeping track of which minerals we have and haven't got, which is why you've got the visualizer at the bottom. That helps me as much as it helps you. But yes, with that, there's some rubble down to the kind of southeast from here, so I will see you down there. And of course, rubble always means a crashed probe. And if we decrypt it, then we get some pretty cool stuff. We can then head on down to the southwest, or is that southeast? I'm not sure. Well, that would have been great if I'd actually succeeded on it. Yeah, now we can head down to the southwest to another mineral deposit. As far as uncharted worlds go, I really don't mind Rhyengri. It's actually not incredibly easy, but pretty damn easy to navigate, because despite the mountains on it are quite smooth, and they're not particularly jagged, so it's fairly easy to actually drive the Mako around without kind of too much hassle. Anyway, to the east from here, you can just see on the edge of the radar, is a plot point, and that's kind of the Geth outpost, which is where we're going to head next. So you can come up that whole long pathway that's kind of lit up by these beacons, but we've kind of hopped in the side via that mineral deposit, and now we see what makes Rhyengri interesting. Of the 4 missions, in the Geth Incursions quest, it is the only one which has which is where the base is an actual base rather than just an outpost in the open. It's surrounded by these dragon's teeth, so who remembers what they do? If you do, then you'll know exactly what enemy we are about to be fighting. I'm still on my sniper, so I want to be on pistols. Actually, we'll all be on close range weapons. Let's put Garrus can be on that, and then Tally. There we go. Is that a... I thought it was a secure storage locker. There's a secure... Oh, it's not even a secure storage locker. It's just a regular storage locker. Well, either way, let's break into it. I swear these take longer. They're probably slightly harder now we're a few levels up. Oh, that's some kind of useful weaponry and such. Oh, and there's another one here. Awesome. There we go. And that gets us some more useful weaponry. The Reku 5's not the best. I prefer the Entei 5 myself. I'm an idiot. Anyway, if you come through here, you can see there's bad men on the radar. And of course, because we saw the dragon's teeth outside, that means husks, which we haven't seen for a while. They're kind of similar in terms of, now you think about it, having had experience of both. In terms of their combat capabilities, they are quite similar to Thorian creepers. They have that similar style of basically trying to rush you, except instead of vomiting on you like the creepers do, they will fire off an EMP that takes your shields out, but they're pretty easy to just keep away from you, so that's actually it. That was fairly straightforward. So what you want to do is come to this room at the back, and there's a few more through here. Oh, let's see if we can... none of my powers are particularly useful against him, because they're not very techy. Let's overload it. Okay, that was pretty useful, actually, I'll be honest. To be honest, though, like, husks... if they start overwhelming you, husks can be a problem, but even, like, as you can see, pistol fire is enough to, like, keep them at bay. Anyway, if we come through to this side here first, there's a fair bit of stuff around. There's a crate, not even locked, that's got some more stuff in it. Man, again, all the Raikus this episode. There's a malfunctioning object. I still don't know exactly what those things are supposed to be with a medical interface on it. There's another crate there, which has got a shitey pistol in it. And then, wow, firstly you can see, enemies have appeared behind! Oh! That was a horrifying sound, and I hope I never hear that again. Yes, enemies appear behind you here. Oh dear. Oh dear. Destroyers! Well, that went pretty well. I lost my shields, but that was about it. Yeah, enemies appear behind you there, but normally they're not quite smart enough to work out how to open the doors. Did not know they could do that. That scared me a fair bit. I think it's just that one malfunctioning object in this room. So now what you need to do is just kind of, like, leave. But of course, you now have to fight your way out. You can assume that because of the fact that the radar has now been jammed, and there's snipers, and I think there's one of those creepy stalkers around, but I'm not entirely sure. But Geth, it's really odd. I think, honestly, except for in some of the latest thing stuff that we'll come across further on in the game, Geth are probably one of the... Ooh, pistol expert, apparently. Geth are probably one of the easiest types of enemy in the game to fight. I think one of the reasons is, like, my pistol's still got hammerhead, why do I keep calling them that? Tungsten rounds on it, which is making it feel faster, but, like, it feels like you never have to get particularly tactical while fighting them, because they don't tend to use, like, powers or biotics or anything like that. They only rely on combat skill, except for in a few cases, so generally you can kind of clean them up pretty easily. But that's just about done here, because I would cut, but obviously we're about to leave the building now anyway, and I'm still talking, so there's no point in doing that. Now out here, there's now a dropship, and it's dropping reinforcements on us. So I'm going to hop back into the Mako, because it just makes it oh! Goddamn Mako controls. If you're not careful, you... Really? If you're not careful, you can get completely, like, leathered here. But if you're generally, like, on... Wow. In the Mako, you will be fine. You can just kind of keep slightly moving. Because the only things that can really do you any damage in the Mako are the rocket troopers. But their rockets move really slowly. There's no colossi or armatures or anything. It's just... nice and straightforward. Let's kill that, and kill that one.
Just one more outpost left.
Correct, Garrus. Now, there's a couple more things we can actually still do here. So the first thing we want to do is, there's, like, you can see there's 3 points left. We want to go to the kind of northernmost of those first, which actually we can just about see from here in the distance. It's that thing there, so let's go over there. Whee! So here at this little kind of camp we saw in the distance... Oh! Really? Mako? What even... Oh, this... I'm just not even going to ask questions about the Mako's physics anymore. There's this one crate that's not locked. If you open it, you get some stuff. And the scavengers who made this camp are gone. They seem to have abandoned it abruptly some time ago. So I guess that's just kind of... I guess the Geth told them to... where to stick it. If we head south from here, you can see on the edge of the map, there is a mineral deposit, which gives us some polonium even, for the collection, though I believe we already do have polonium up the wazoo. There's certain ones we seem to get all the time, and certain ones we never get. The heavy metals seem to be the rare one, though we should get a few more of those this episode. And then finally, just to the north here, there is one more point down here, which is this crashed escape pod. I'm not even going to bother cutting, because I'm here already. If we hop out of the Mako, hopefully it won't do any crazy backflips to us or anything like that. Come on. We're stopped. It doesn't let you out sometimes if you're stopped on, like, unpleasant ground, but it's really kind of dodgy about it. Anyway, if we recover this artifact... Yeah, I was speaking while I was decrypting at the same time. Anyway, the down pod contained a League of One medallion. Its owner is nowhere to be found. Well, that was fun. And that's us done. Now, that was extremely quick. 10 minutes, and we're polished up on Rangiri. I always want to call it Rangiri, but it's not Rangiri, it's Rangiri. Dude, that is so cool. But yes, that's us done here, so there's only one more Geth outpost to take care of, as Garrus said, which is... over here in the Tereshkova system, who I believe is another Russian cosmonaut. Cosmonaut sounds so much cooler than astronaut. Sorry guys, but it does. Yes, so there's a couple of planets we can look at briefly here. There's Theges. That's an unpleasant sounding name. And when we scan it, we detect a large deposit of mercury. I believe that's our first mercury. Check the visualizer, but awesome. And then down here is Patamalurus. That's a good name as well. Which gives us iridium, which we definitely haven't got before. We're good, dude. We're suddenly filling in the heavy metals now. Now I was bitching about it. In the asteroid belt here, there is this carbonaceous asteroid, which when scanned, while scanning the field in the Tereshkova system, you picked up some anomalous readings. After some daring maneuvering by Joker, a small team was able to recover some debris from one of the larger rocks. Among the items was discovered a League of One medallion. We're getting a load of stuff this episode, it's awesome. And of course the planet of interest is Antibar, one of my favourites, for reasons I will explain when we are on the planet's surface. Antibar is a cold terrestrial world with an atmosphere of methane and argon. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of iron with deposits of magnesium. The world has been noted as a possible target for long-term terraforming. If the atmosphere could be increased to the thickness of Earth's, the global average temperature would rise by 10 degrees Celsius. Antibar's combination of low temperatures, high-speed surface winds, and low visibility make it dangerous to explore on foot. Now the first thing to notice about Antibar is its terrible frame rate. Like, even just moving and stuff like that, the wind is clearly putting a bit too much strain on the old 360, and yeah, it doesn't like it. But if you look at the map, look how lovely and flat it is, and thus how easy to navigate it is. It's brilliant. And so, like, there's almost no hills, it's just a series of slight ridges, and so driving around it in the Mako is lovely. So we're heading over here to the east, where there are well, it's 2 points marked on the map, and we're going to go to the southernmost of those first, but as you can see from the radar, they are pretty close together. But yeah, there's some wreckage there up ahead, which is what we're heading for. Oh! Threshermore! Yes, I knew that was coming, don't worry. Anyway, the whole screen's shaking. I'm going to be a badass and take it out on foot. This one, you've kind of got enough movement space. Whew! That did a lot of damage. If you put everyone on, like, we'll put us on snipers and stuff. Basically, you should be able to take it out with the kind of weaponry we've got this late in the game now. It's not too much of a challenge to take it out, really. Like, you basically just have to ensure that you want to stay like a middling distance from it. Weirdly enough, if you're close enough to see its health, if you're close enough to see its health, you are probably too close to it, because you need time to dodge out the way of its shots. Your squad mates will be, by definition, pretty much terrible at dodging its shots, and they probably will die. I would only really recommend this if you're either a soldier or an infiltrator, so one of the classes that has access to snipers. Otherwise, the kind of distances you have to get in on it are just too dangerous to consider. If you move too far away from it, of course, it will then retreat underground. Let's use Assassination, actually. Oh, that hit me pretty hard. We must have nearly taken it down now. There's the only problem, obviously, you can't tell how much damage you've done to it, but, like, it's not done. Hey, there we go. Dude, we got 15,000 credits and nearly 1,000 experience for that. That was totally worth it. All we had to do was be a bit of a raging badass. Anyway, here's the wreckage it was, well, not guarding, but it kind of was. And if we approach the wreckage, the vehicles and human corpses show the telltale signs of Geth weapons fire. The Geth have been mangled by the Threshermore. At least they got what was coming to them. And yeah, if you look around, you can see a mixture of kind of Geth and human corpses. Yay! Everyone dies. If you come up here to the north, though, this is kind of the main point of coming over to this area with the Threshermore. We find this cool-looking kind of ruin thing. This reminds me of Hellboy. It's the kind of the weather and the look of this particular artifact. Well, is it an artifact? Yeah, it's probably ancient site, something like that. Prothean ruin is what it is, so no surprises for no prizes for guessing what we get in here. Indeed, searching the ruins, you discover a Prothean data disk. It must have been dropped by one of the Threshermore's many victims. I don't know if we've talked much about Threshermores. They're pretty cool, though, that they're capable of, their seeds are hard, like they reproduce through spores, which are pretty much hardy enough to actually disperse through space, which is, quite frankly, terrifying. Anyway, we're going to head down to the southeast now, where there is a mineral deposit awaiting us. And this mineral deposit contains another sample of mercury. God, you wait for ages, then two come at once. It's like a shitty bus system. And yes, it's a very large deposit of mercury. Down, like, far to the east and slightly to the south is another mineral deposit, which we can head straight over to. And this one contains a big chunk of lithium. Lithium's an odd one. Oh, survey failed, apparently. Lithium's an odd one because its name, it's one of the lightest elements, but its name comes from the Greek lithos for rock. So lithium literally would be translated as kind of rockium. So it's a terrible, terrible name for an element. Shame on you, Greeks. God. Anyway, now the kind of remaining points, as you can see, are all the way up to the north, so we're going to head to the southernmost of those northern points, which is a chunk of rubble. We all know what we're going to find there. Of course, unsurprisingly, it's a crashed probe. The issue is, as you get close to it, the damn radar jammer kicks in, because we're near the Geth Base, so you kind of have to, weirdly enough, like, because the radar is much wider area on the Mako, then your radar will be jammed on the Mako, but not on the kind of on-foot radar, so you can kind of use that to work out where this thing is. Obviously, oh, damn, we've failed it again, so that means we're going to have to use some Omnigel to get some cool stuff. Oh, dude, tungsten round 7, I'm going to put them on. Actually, I should do by squad, because I haven't actually leveled us up, because we got a level up at the end of the last world. Running, so I'm going to give myself 2 points in fitness, because then we've nearly unlocked a useful skill there. Yaris, you can have just agent, just get a bit better at everything. And Tally, I'll give you basic armor to kind of unlock first aid. Now, the actual Geth Base on this planet, as I just mentioned, it's nearby, as it's just the point that you can see on the radar just to the north of here. You can drive straight to it over the top of those hills, and it's an absolute bugger, and you'll end up in a terrible place to attack the Geth from. But if you just kind of come around to the side from here, there's a little kind of narrow attack gully, as I like to think of it. That sounds almost rude, but not quite. But I'm not where I thought I was. Or you can get lost in a blizzard. That's also an option for attacking the Geth. Is it through here? Yeah, it's through here. Here we go. So this is another one which you can take out from the Mako or on foot, depending on how badass you're feeling. If you kind of choose to do it on foot, you've got quite a nice bit of cover here, so I'm just going to go for it. It's a bit of a bitch to see, unfortunately, because of the damn hurricane? Snowstorm. Blizzard. That's what it is. It's a blizzard. Right, this is going to be an interesting one, so I might cut through some of this. Oh, shot him right in the face. Brilliant. Ah, Colossus! Right, fuck it. Did not remember that there was a Colossus there, so I'm going to go back in the Mako. No amount of badassery is worth attempting to fight a Colossus on foot in a snowstorm. They are bad enough when you can see them clearly. Trying to snipe them from this distance in a snowstorm is not recommended, I think, would be an understatement. We're losing shields quite fast. Oh well. That's the Colossus down at least, so the rest of it's just easy. Doink! Okay, let's zoom in a bit closer. There we go. And let's take out that dude. And one more over there. When you've taken them all out, do it again, because I haven't actually taken them all out yet. Good one. Let's try that again. When you've taken them all out, the mothership comes in, another one of the Wasp ships. This isn't one you have to fight, it's only that one world you have to do it. This one just drops shit on you, and as long as you're quick, these don't really pose a threat. They spawn in a ridiculously exposed place. They've got... Oh, is that... Dude, that's a prime. That is the most powerful Geth unit, is a prime. It's like a transformer. Oh, we've lost the shield. Oh, shit. Shit, 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 shit. I'm gonna run the fuck away. Whew. Well, now you see what happens when we lose the shield and take a lot of damage. We start setting on fire. Man, I've used like 50 Omnigel this episode. I never normally use any Omnigel because it's weird and pointless. But it's not pointless, it's just useful if you fuck shit up, basically. But no, I wasn't expecting that. I'd forgotten that they had primes with them. Primes are just like a walking artillery kind of thing. If you are familiar with like Halo, primes are pretty much the Geth equivalent of like a scarab. They're just like huge. Obviously, as you can see.
Strange. I expected one of these outposts to be the main base of operations for this incursion.
Hold on. This receiver's picking up some kind of transmission. Based on the signal strength, I'd say it's coming from inside this star cluster.
It must be a message from the primary Geth base. We can use the signal to lock onto its location and take them out. It must be a message from the primary Geth base. We can use the signal to lock onto its location and take them out.
Fun fact, that scene, as you can see, is glitched. Firstly, as you'll have noticed, the last liner is always repeated. And secondly, if you do them, we've done it in a certain order. If you do them in a different order, I think it's if you finish with Ryangri last, then if you're to do the other three before Ryangri, then by the time you get around to Ryangri, the third mission you do gives that thing, even though you haven't taken out the fourth one. It's weird, but it's just a kind of slight glitch. That's why I did them in the order we did. Anyway, yeah, what I was saying is, like, primes are, like, basically the most powerful land Geth units, other than, like, obviously destroyers and colossuses, but I mean, like, well, colossi, but I mean, like, the humanoid Geth. And, well, firstly we've come here and there's a sample of magnesium, but I'm stuck. Yeah, one of the things that's kind of cool with the Geth is that their deal is that they're what they call in this game a networked AI, which is the more of them there are physically together, the smarter they are, because they kind of share processing power with one another. And the AI in this game actually does that. Like, when there are more Geth in a group, they are better. Like, they are smarter and more tactical. It's quite interesting. But anyway, that's us done on whatever this world is, Antibar, so we finished 2 worlds in 1 episode, so that's awesome. There's no point heading back to the Normandy, because we haven't really got time for a conversation with anyone, so I guess we're just going to hold it there. So, thank you very much for watching this episode of Mass Effect. We've taken out the 2 remaining Geth outposts, but found there's an even bigger outpost somewhere, so of course that's going to be our main task for next episode. So I hope you'll join me then. I've been the Doctor with the Infamous Gentleman, and this has been Mass Effect. Good day.